No victims, no villains, no form, no figure, no limits, just visions. Surrender ego to mingle with the divine, and please wipe your feet before you enter my mind. I'm barefoot, sitting in the lotus, focus on my kundalini. Have you taken notice? Thinking I need stress, I think that it's needless. And speaking of weed less, I'm learning to need less. And over drama, the Dalai Mama in Nirvana, flirting with the flora and I'm floating with the fauna. Sailing the sweet towel, we be in the now. They said they wanna find out on the chill, I'm teaching them how. It's hard. Cause I've been on my let it glow, metaphysical flow, entering the indigo. And now it seems that life is but a dream, and the cloth of our reality is leaking at the seams, but it's lucid. I take my nuisance, I feel it loosen, now we cruising, and on the truth that I be inducing. Naked activated from the root up to the crown. It's amazing in the void until you come back down. But if I can't keep calm, I just keep on. So songs to get my reborn and just breathe on and be the queen of the Renaissance, mother of the new era. Let my tiara get free and recognize that.
They young men realize that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself, subjective. There is no such thing as death. Life is only training. We are the imagination of ourselves. Here's how much better.
If every 8-year-old was taught the meditation, I think we'd have peace for an entire generation. Set the times ablaze, we do it in waves and be brave like ancestors on slave ships for days. Stomach churning cause the world is burning, and we inhaling a second hand, but I got a second plan. Carry the camaraderie to continents. We don't need religion cause we got our consciousness. And I ain't just an optimist. New earth is coming, ain't no stopping this. Say goodbye to bye, consume, die. All my realized beings will spread wings and fly.
That we are all one consciousness experiencing itself.
Peace, YouTube. This is FleurBrun coming to you again today. That was Nitty Scott. If you don't know who that is, she's a phenomenal artist. I thought it was perfect coming in and back to you from another plane of existence. So big up to YouTube. Peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. I am so sorry. I've been gone for, I think, almost 3 weeks now. I know many people have been worried, so many well wishes. And of course, there was an accident that kind of knocked me off my butt for a couple weeks. But I'm back, I'm recovered, all is well. And I wanted to touch base with anyone. And yes, the artist, the beautiful artist is Nitty Scott. It was actually one of our C-stars from Cypher who actually recommended the group. So recommended Nitty. I had no clue who she was until she recommended it to me. So big up to that C-star who recommended it to me. So I hope all is well. Listen, family, I've come back to you from the underworld and I have so much to tell you. I have basically been upgraded to 5, what is going to be the literal 5G, not 5D, I said 5G. So we're going to get in that conversation today. I hope everybody's okay. Why don't we kick it off and touch everybody on the ley lines? I haven't been here for a moment. I know, and listen, I so appreciate all the love, well wishes, so many positive energy. I could feel the frequency coming in from every ley line. It was amazing. Y'all sent out like sound alerts to find out where FleurBrun is, and I felt every bit of energy, and I'm so appreciative of all of that. It was necessary. And again, I've been in the underworld and I've actually been on the other side. So I have a lot of intel and I've been super duper upgraded. I haven't been cloned. Not yet. I've been replicated, but not cloned. Listen to that. Because I saw a couple of people like, I hope she isn't going to be cloned. Listen, no, life happens and things have happened. And Can't stop, won't stop. Thank you. So why don't we interconnect with each other on the lane lines? Kick off your region. You know how we do. I hold it down for Orlando, Florida. Kick out where you're at. Louisville's in the house. Big up to Amanda. What up, Amanda Nash? Houston's in the house. What up, Cody? Big up to you. Good. Nevada's in the house. Phillips. Pittsburgh's in the house. New Jersey's in the house. Cali's in the house. New York represent. Oh my gosh, you guys are going too fast. Wait, Vegas is in the house. Oh wow, hold on. Philly's in the house. This is going fast. Austin, Kendall, Louisiana's in the house. Spring Hill, Florida's in the house. Mississippi represent was good. Toronto, Ontario's in the house was good. Another Orlando's in the house. We got all the Floridians coming in the house, or another Fort Lauderdale's in the house. Alabama representing was good. Got Cali, Memphis is representing. Tennessee was good. DC, can't stop, won't stop. That's what I'm talking about. Bethlehem's in the house was good. Hey there. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Sensei. Kelly's in the house. North Kakalaki's in the house. Northern Illinois. Cleveland's in the house. UK representing in Europe. Oh, Iowa's in the house. We have New York. What up, New York? Kelly's representing again. West Coast is representing. Rhode Island. Haven't seen Rhode Island in a minute. Hey, Columbus, Ohio. What's good? D-Town representing. Utah. Greensville, South Carolina. Below Wichita. I think that's Wichita, right? Southern California representing, you sunny, beautiful beings over there. Egypt represent, what's good? Georgia, what up? Phoenix, Arizona, Utah, what's good? We got some Phoenix in the house, quite a few. Dallas, Netherlands representing. Berlin, what's up, Europe? Berlin's in the house. Mississippi representing. Houston, Virginia Beach, what up, VA? Narlene's in the house. What's good? Baton Rouge. That is again, Louisiana's in the house. Atlanta's in the house. ATL represent Ohio. Vancouver, what up, Selma? Selma's representing in the house. New Earth, what's good? Is Wakanda here too? So we have New Earth representatives in the house. Haiti's in the house. Sapase. Tucson, Arizona's in the house. North Carolina's in the house. We have Covington, Louisiana in the house. Vegas represent what's good. PA Poconos, what's up in the mountains, in the Pocono Mountains. Miami's representing what's good. I see everyone coming in. This is so beautiful. 222 representing, Vegas representing. You are so beautiful, Florida. Poconos, North California, Greenville, South Carolina. Harrisburg, PA, Mount Vernon was good. My own neck of the woods. Money earning Mount Vernon. See, I need to play one of those money earning Mount Vernon songs. I'll show you my age if I did that. Seattle, Washington's in the house. What up, Seattle? What's going on? I've missed you too. Long Island. Strong Island's in the house. What's good? I see Jacksonville, Florida representing. So Minnesota's here. France is in the house. Oh, France. Salut. Comment ça va? Nevada's in the house. Was good. New Hampshire's in the house. I know New NH. ATL again representing. I missed you too. Canada, more Canadians in the house. Hey, Twilight Moon was represented. So I can actually read. I'm actually on my laptop. So I can actually read your comments today. So yes, I've been gone for a minute. I had, there was an accident and I did lose my my babies. It was 2 of them. So I just want to put that out there. I don't want to keep that from you. What has been weeks for me has probably just something that you're just going to hear now. So they did not make it. It was 2. And that energy's been transmuted and all has been well since then. Yeah, I appreciate it. And again, many of you didn't know, and again, some of you did. So I appreciate all the love and beautiful transmissions. And I could feel many of you in the ether. So that's why I say I've been to the underworld and back. And I have quite a bit to tell you in doing so. So I appreciate it. Thank you. So let's get into it. I've been upgraded to 5G. No, I didn't say 5D. I have a lot of intel regarding that. So I want to get into that conversation today. Listen, I'm back. I'm back for good. Can't stop, won't stop. Doesn't matter what goes on in this life. I'm about this life. So at the end of the day, whatever tries or attempts to sidebar me, place me in a position where they feel like I can't come back, I will keep coming. I'm about this life. I can't stop, won't stop. I come from the underworld, and then I'll bring intel to bring my people out. And another sidebar. So for everyone who's been on my page for a long time, I will say this. I don't know if it's YouTube finagling with the subscribers, but I will say this because a lot of you say that you subscribe and you unsubscribe. So I asked for you today for the first time to actually check your subscriptions and make sure you check the subscription to make sure that you subscribe. Because what happened is that over the time that I was away, when I checked my YouTube, it's weird. It showed 60,000 subscribers. And then when I came on today, it was a little less than half of that, which is odd. So I'm thinking they're kicking off the number of subscribers, and they're doing that purposefully because they know I'm going to bring you intel, and that's what I'm going to do. So make sure you subscribe and you let me know that this is something that you're actually watching and actually able to actually get. Because sometimes people don't get the feed or they don't get the, I think, do you have to push a bell? I think you have to push a bell for notifications, right? I don't know if do you push a bell? I think you do, right? I think it's a bell you push. Look how long I've been on YouTube and I don't even know how you push a bell. I think it's a bell that you push for subscriptions or get the notifications, right? So yeah, I looked on, it was 60,000 and then it was like 37 or 38. I don't even know. So I don't know what's going on with that. But again, they're being fishy, and again, can't stop, won't stop. Anything that's attempted to stop me, anything that's attempted to sidebar me, I'm just going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming stronger. And I actually came upgraded in 5G. So during this time, family, I want to talk about the 5G fiasco, right? Let me drink some water while we're on. What up, Nairobi? Kenya's in the house. Nairobi and Kenya's in the house. What's good? Yeah, it's a fiasco, 5G fiasco. Only Sagittariuses can be this like unapologetic. Listen, I'm unapologetic. It is what it is. I always say, if this is something that is a little egregious, then it is, you kind of signed up for it by watching my videos. So we're going to get into 5G. So listen, I came from the underworld. And when I say I came from the underworld, I think previously we jumped a timeline, and many of you had jumped the timeline with me. And I will say this, even with something as traumatic or tragic that what it seemingly was, I've had the most magnanimous time jump ever. And it was epic. And many of you jump with me. Obviously, if you are on this feed, you're either from this timeline that we jumped into, or you're part of the timeline that we jumped from. So regardless to say, we're all in the same timeline at this point, but this timeline has been the most magnanimous. And even in going into reflecting and going through almost like a dark night of the soul, as I had to recalibrate my thought, or kind of allow my consciousness to wrap around why things happen and how they happen in order to catapult you to another level of consciousness, actually to another heightened level of consciousness. So, I remember going to the conference at the Edgar Cayce's facility in Virginia Beach. Big up to the Edgar Cayce staff in Virginia Beach. I remember we did a conference, and a spiritual conference. And the one thing that they said was that adversity is a gift. Now, what I take is, for me, and this is just how I roll, is I always take that pain for me sharpens my sword. So pain sharpens my sword. So whenever I come from something and I'm able to transmute it, I'm grateful for my consciousness because I'm able to do that. But in doing so, I've formulated a way to take in the intel that normally some people would kind of overlook or not even be able to receive because they were so deep into a form of maybe loathing or sadness and grieving, and unable to gain the gems from being able, listen, not everybody walks into the underworld, and not everybody's allotted the privilege to go behind the veil where what we consider to be the dead or those incarnates are actually coexisting. And many of the intel that some of you who are mediums or psychics who speak to the dead, or what you consider to be people who've transcended, do know this, that is something that shouldn't be taken for granted. And when you have access to that other world beyond the realm, you get so much intel that it's insane. That's what I'm saying. I'm coming back to you, family. I'm upgraded to 5G. And when I say I'm upgraded to 5G, you're going to get more intel than I ever could have possibly given you before. That's why I say this time jump not only transformed me, but it upgraded me. And it upgraded me in a way that seemed like it was tragedy, but actually it was a gift. So I'm in, an old fashioned of FleurBrun, as I get gifted, I like to give back in a way, because I feel like I don't want to have a gift alone. I will share the gifts with you. So, because I'm just about that. So anyway, the 5G, and I think there was another YouTube, I want to say this, another YouTube who shared this as well. And it was a different perspective, but it was the same. 5G is we had 3G, 4G. Those are, what is, when they upgrade the phones, you'll either see the 3G or 4G, and now they're upgrading to 5, which is a whole nother magnetic system of allowing for, telecommunication globally in a quicker, faster way without any interception, and considerably more quality. Now, I will say this, the 5G is just a smokescreen. Okay. And I've gotten this, listen, any intel you're getting today and from now on, I got from the underworld. It's crazy. I'm not a I'm grateful, but it's insane how much you will get when you're allotted into other realms of consciousness or other realms of existence that we're not allotted. So they just, on the other side, you just get these magnanimous breakthroughs of things that we don't know about, or we wouldn't normally be able to have access to, unless, obviously, if you're part of the dark cabal and you're doing, rituals and spells and child sacrifices. Now they have to do all that because they have to pry all the information out. They have to, they have to work with the demons to get that information and intel. So they basically parasiting off of intel from the other side because they can't have access to it naturally. But some people actually have natural ways to go to the other side, which is, and many of your shamans that many of the tribes, the different native indigenous tribes from here in North America, South America, and also in parts of the West. Now, this is something that the shamans would know very well. And this is why many people back in the days went to medicine women and also shamans to be able to speak to their loved ones or to get information or access to things that they weren't allotted because they weren't accessing the other points of entry behind the veil, let's say, to speak. Okay, so what I got was 5G is an old system that was here on the planet originally. This isn't something new. 5G, what it is a boot. I'm gonna disrespect the dark cabal because that's how I have to get down. It is a bootleg version. It is the reverse engineering of actual technology that coexisted here at the time that the pyramids were being built in the ancient Kemet. Listen to me, family. I'll recycle that and I'll kind of go back. 5G is a bootleg version. It is the reverse engineering of a technology that coexisted at a time that the beings here who were living, oh, sorry, that's my alarm, that they were utilizing in Kemetic times when ancient Kemet, for you, some of you who don't know what Kemet is, that's ancient Egypt, was actually online, meaning the Nubian beings that were actually coexisting there, that some of you consider to be the gods, or some of you consider to be, the fallen angels, whatever language that, or whatever description that you take from the beings that coexist there, that actually lived, and when Egypt or ancient Kemet was thriving, okay, not when those beings exodus the planet via a stargate in their ships and left, and then the beings who are coexisting there now are just basically people who came to an area that was already abandoned. Okay, so 5G is the reverse engineering of a technology that coexisted at a time where we are going and we are entering right now. Family, we are now entering the where the Van Allen belt is, and that is why there is so many chemtrails, and the government is trying its hardest to keep that energy, that magnetic energy, from coming down and from us receiving it via our DNA and activating us, which isn't stopping, because obviously many of you are here, so you're already being activated. But could you imagine if they did not try to, cloak it or mute it, how much more awakened you would already be? Okay, now that is why there's been a upping of epigenetics, of them changing and transmuting and homogenizing food so that it mutes your senses, that it mutes you and your ability to be able to receive the energies or the information coming from the galactic plane that we're entering now. Some would call it some gamma radiation. And there's some intel. Oh, there's so much I want to talk about. Okay, so the technology that they're bringing up is 5G. Now, why some people feel a certain way about it? Because, of course, anything that's reverse engineered is not in its original organic form. So, yes, 5G in itself, it will, for some, can be toxic in that it can cause too much over radiation or radiating your cells. It can do that because remember, it is not the version that the original beings that coexisted here were utilizing. It's the bootleg version. So anything that is not in its original or organic form will have an alternate reaction with your cells and with your body. And obviously it would be something more difficult. But what I will say to you, family, the 5G is not necessarily all negative. Why? Is because it is a communication system that will allow for the certain gates and certain well, there's a homing device connected to this too. So it just depends on what side of the line you lie on, Draconian, Anunnaki, Andromedan. It depends on where you sit in the schematics of the Galactic Federation that is now starting to make their alliance known to what we consider to be Earthlings here on Earth. So that 5G is being utilized not only as a homing beacon to call and open certain vortexes and gateways that will allow the beings that coexisted here at the time that the ancients were here. It is also going to allot for a retrieval of certain galactic energies to come back into our plane of existence. What does that mean? Because people are like, that sounds like foreign language. It almost sounds made up. What it means is that you're going to start to see more UFOs. You're going to, with the 5G coming here and them utilizing it, you're going to start to see what you normally would not be able to see. That is why we have to be careful, because I feel like they're going to utilize this 5G as a way to create a false flags of ET invasions or, false ETs are coming to harm us, or the Jesus complex where Jesus is in the sky, Mary Magdalene, Virgin Mary is going to be appearing. They will utilize this technology to kind of build the narrative of what their agenda is. Do you know what I mean? So in and of itself, it is, yes, blue beam. They will utilize it for that in itself, but it serves two purposes. It's not all negative. So that's why I'm saying it depends on where you sit in the alliance of galactics, meaning that even if you don't have galactic DNA, you still are aligned based on who homogenized your family, who homogenized your lineage. If it was the Draconians who homogenized you, where do you sit in the Galactic Federation? Because you are owned by beings that created you and have a say over what happens to you and your family on this planet. Whether you were created through a genetically modifying, your DNA to make you more cohesive to their agenda, to whatever future endeavors that they were starting, it doesn't matter. It's where you sit on that plane of existence. So 5G is basically a homing beacon, and it's allowing for other calling for beings that coexisted here at a time. There's a return of the gods coming right now, and 5G is necessary, even through reverse engineering. So it is not all negative. Let me say that it is not all negative. And I didn't get that intel on myself. It was going through the dark night of my soul, going in the underworld, going past the veil, and getting intel from those who sit outside of the perimeters of restriction and grids. Now, one thing is the young lady online, she's talks, and I found this very fascinating because I had that intel, but what she noticed, how you notice that was where we are sitting planetarily, is how the moon looks over the pyramids of Giza. If you look at the crescent moon, and I love that she did this, and I can't criticize this young lady. I got to remember her name because I don't like to use intel and not give credit. Someone probably knows because they know her name. I forgot her name. She's on YouTube. She has a nice following too. I forgot her name, but some of you know who she is. I'll see someone coming back. Yes, and that is why also there's a lot of pregnancies on the planet. I thank you for saying that. There's a lot of pregnancies on the planet. Thank you, Monique. Monique said a share a star, a share a star. Thank you. A share Luna. Is it Ash Luna? Ash Luna said it too. A Luna Ash. Was it a Luna Ash? Okay, a Luna Ash. Okay, it was. They said, I said, maybe it's a couple of sea stars. Listen, this intel, remember, nothing I give you is my own. Everything that we get is a collective consciousness that we're just receiving. We're just receptive. How receptive we are to information, or if we're maybe accessing certain points of consciousness based on how receptive we are, that's where you get it. So it isn't anything that's mine. Let me just state that. I always like to put that on the back, because knowledge is infinite. Everybody can have access, and people have pieces of the puzzle. So it could be a number of these wonderful sea stars. I don't know which one it was, but I know she said this. The crescent moon, it used to be over the Giza in this way, like a sad face, like a sad crescent over the Giza pyramids. Now, because we push, remember, the planet is rotating, but not only Allen belt. That's why people are so scared of the radiation. Now, certain people should be more fearful of the radiation than others. That is why there is such a push to cover the skies. But now the moon, based on where we're located, is no longer over, the crescent is no longer a sad face. It is now in the smiling position. What does that tell you? Now it's telling you that we have now placed ourselves in a position where, and this is why you know they're about to do something huge to distract you all. And we saw this, and they thought they could sidebar me, but can't stop, won't stop. I'm gonna come here. And the fact of the matter is, I'm living. And I'm grateful for that, because all I did is I'm telling you things that I didn't even have access to before. So I'm grateful for anything that I've gone through, because all it did was allow me an upgrade to be able to share this with you. So now that the moon is now crescent-wise, it is looking like a smile over the planet, the Giza pyramids. That is telling you that now we are in the position of the original cycle, where the Nubia were coexisting there in ancient Kemet, and that means that all those gates and planetoids are now in our neighborhood. Also means we are so close to the Van Halen belt. That's why a lot of people are being highly affected by the sun. That's why some of you will go outside. That's why they also have, we don't know which sun is real, because now we have 3 suns. We always did, but we don't know if they're utilizing a false projected sun as a way to hide the original magnetic suns that are coming. Because remember, this was a binary system. It was always a binary system until they inverted, until it became an inverted system where everything was flip mode. Now the deserts, which used to be jungles and ancient Kemet, used to be jungles over there. Now they're all dry and sand. And there was a lot of nuclear radioactive wars over there galactically that happened also in, the parts of ancient Kemet in Africa. And remember, Middle East is a term that only coexists now, that was created, I don't know, what was the name Middle East? Middle East was all Africa. They didn't like the fact that the continent of Africa was so huge that they had to make it smaller. So then they created the Middle East. The Middle East, and all the Middle East was all Africa, including Israel. All that was Africa. And so they changed it into the Middle East. So that's just a terminology that came with colonization. There's so much to tell you. I'm so excited to be back. I got to tell you so much. I've got to be careful, because again, I want to make sure that for anyone coming in the room, make sure you subscribe, because it pissed me off that I saw that they were changing and maybe people weren't able to get this message. So make sure you subscribe and let me know that you're here, so that you're getting the videos that I'm sending up. And I'm going to make sure that I am quite as savvy and even more. And then I'll have a surprise for you in 2 weeks. So you'll know something in 2 weeks that'll be hopefully in 2 weeks. That'll be magnanimous. All right. So listen, not only is 5G necessary to be able to mimic this technology that was utilized at the time the ancient Kemetics were there coexisting, also you're going to see massive amount of ships. Do not be shocked if you see ships. Now, mind you, for every 10 ships you see, it may only be 1 or 2 that are real. Listen to me, family. They are going to purposefully, with Project Bluebeam, I think the young lady said it, with Project Bluebeam, they're going to purposely put false flag crafts that are not real in the sky. And some of those crafts, if cylindrical or if they're round, those are the Nazi ships that are not part of the galactic planes, and also some of the triangular ships. So be careful to be able to decipher which is friend or foe, because not all ships in the sky are ET based. Some of them are reverse engineered through your happy government, who's been producing crafts utilizing ET technology that they've had for since the 30s that they've been utilizing. So all this time you're thinking about Tesla, all this stuff, all these, solar ran cars. These are things that they could have done in the 30s. They could have done these in the 30s. That's also why they created a war to kind of hide. It was a smokescreen. That's why all the Nazis are in South America. I'm getting excited. Am I yelling at you? I'm sorry. And people are like, well, aren't the Nazis bad? Well, that depends on your perspective, because not only are the Nazis living in South America who have all this technology that were also taken on by your U.S. government and also given jobs, even though they were eugenicists, masters at genocide, they were given jobs here in the States, and also many of them moved over to South America. And that is why Argentina is what it is today. And if we want to talk any further, why is it that the Nazis moved to South America, but why is it also that the Zionists did too? So if the Nazis and the Jews had an issue, why are they living in the same region side by side? And the Jewish Zionists, because they're not really Jews, the Zionists are coexisting well and living well and actually ruling over the entire basic planet, actually, but I told you it's really the dark carbon beings that are actually the ones being worshipped. Okay, so much to talk about. I don't know if I should give it to you in all. I have so much to say. Okay, so they were all converts. They were all, the Khazar Jews are just Russian converts. That's all Eastern Europe. Look at the Eastern Europeans on here. I don't have any beef with them, but we have to call a spade with a spade. It isn't what you think. Everything that's been taught to you, everything that they've told you is a lie. It is not a lie. It is partially truth in order to create a narrative that was actually the opposite of what it really was. So basically, all this time you're thinking, this happened or the Holocaust happened. Absolutely, a lot of Jewish people died, but there were a lot of gypsies who died. There was a lot of Arabs who died in World War II. Many people don't know there were lots of people who died, and it had little or nothing to do with your nationality. It had to do an agenda that was to propel a certain group of Zionists later on so that they can be covered by the smokescreen of being covered by the Judaic the prejudice, not anti-Semitism, which is odd because the only Semites are from Sudan and from Yemen or Ethiopia. Those are Semites. That's what I'm saying. All these anti-Semitic laws that cover you from speaking about a group of people that aren't the people that are the people causing problems. Anyway, those are Zionists. They're not Jews. And I want to state that very clearly because I think a lot of times our Jewish family, and we have many family all over, especially in Israel, especially in Tel Aviv. We have to be very careful because the narrative that these beings that are hiding behind the smoke screen, behind certain genres of people, is purposefully done so that you can't see them, that you're not able to touch them because they cover themselves with agendas, and then they create these laws, these anti-Semitic laws that cover for these prejudices that don't exist. There aren't any other races. There's different species of beings here. I'm telling you, family, I've seen it. This is a lie. They're creating all these problems with us looking differently, but really at the end of the day, it's the species that they're really having issues with. There are fights going on with different species of beings and beings that look like each other that are different species. We have to be very, very careful at pointing fingers at people for racial components, differences, because there's no such thing as different races. There's different species of people, and there's different types of people based on homogenizing. There are people that have been genetically homogenized more than others. There are people that are not even people. There are holographic beings here that are not even beings. They're just props walking around looking like, avatars that are walking, talking, and they're not even real. And then you have beings that are cloaking themselves that aren't even part of your humanoid species. And I'd be so shocked if some of them are bipedal. Some of them are not even bipedal. So, and then we have, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not. Am I getting so much off? I don't want to sidebar you off everything. Let me take a deep breath because I know so much and I want to tell you so much. I want to tell you in one lump sum because I have so much information to tell you. And just tell me to slow down if I'm going too fast because I want to tell you everything because I feel like every time they try to stop me, I have to tell you more because it's going to have to stop. There isn't anything, it doesn't matter if I'm here or not. You're always going to get the intel from me or my people. So I would suggest you just leave us alone. At the end of the day, this is necessary for us to be able to overstand and kind of unlatch each other's tethers so that we all together, hand in hand, united, rise above the restrictive grids that they created only in visual and mind illusions. It isn't real. When I went to the other side, family, it is nirvana. Listen to me, family. It is nirvana. It is beautiful. There isn't a concept of restriction. That is what they're creating here. And that's why you have to be very mindful of the things that you watch, the people that you support, and the things that you do in your own personal lives. And one of the reasons why they've been allotted to do this so long is because they've had anonymity. They've hidden behind certain circles. They've created this narrative that is so far from reality that many of you don't even know the truth because it's been lies upon lies through lineages and families, stories told from your great-grandmother, from your great-grandfather. Lies have been shared over and over to the point where it seems real. It is a lie. Even the very nature of who and what we are is a lie. I saw it. It was all created for this time so that many of you will be caught up because the event is about to happen. Now, I don't want to get into that now because I don't want my feed to be shut off. So there's something I know that's about to pop off. And that's why I say I'm going to give you something, hopefully a gift within 2 weeks. And I'm trying to do it. And I got a big mouth. So I got to make sure that I'm very mindful of the things I do. But I wanted to say, let me go back to the point. 5G is not all negative. It is a necessary evil to bring back a certain alignment. To come back online during a certain alignment that will allow the inversion, the planet to go back in the inverted version of what it was. The new Earth isn't anything but a layering effect of an inverted process of going back to the opposite side of what it was. We're living in an inverted reality that's been created holographically, and nothing in here is real. What we created is we're consciously, by our mind, thought, and collective interaction with each other, we're making this real. But everything around us is just basically our own minds creating a holograph. Everything isn't real. It isn't what it seems. Even the truth that you know has a layering effect of partial truths and a lot of misnomers. So it's necessary for you to take everything that you hear and utilize your discernment, spiritual discernment, your first eye, and discern whether it's true or false. And I will give you a gift. The one way that you will tell if something's real or not, it will hit your belly. Your belly is your brain. That is why they mess with our stomachs. That is why they mess with our food. Your brain is in your belly. It's not up here. If they take your brain out, it doesn't really matter. Those thoughts and everything is just part of a hardwiring system that allows for you to process, concepts and ideology and things like that and process it. But your brain is in your belly. And if they mess with your stomach, and they mess with your food, they're messing with your brain. That is why they're trying so hard to use the eugenics in order to dumb us down, to mute our senses. I saw it in every single way. And that is why when you fast or you stop eating or partaking in their ritual, because eating is a ritual. It is a ritual, family. They create these ebbs and flows. They have McDonald's everywhere. They create these televisions with subliminal messages of foods, and all the foods are chemicals. All they are drugs. The only food that we really needed was the sun, and it was a binary system. So we were fed through our cells. We didn't require for food to be our main source of nutrients. Many of us didn't even eat. Some of us only were fruitarians and only ate from the vine of the tree. What we could eat, peaches and genetically modified peaches, mangoes, the things that we picked off the leaves. And the only time that we ever engage with even greens is for our herbs, for our medicine. Just like dogs and cats eat grass, they only did it when they were sick, where they weren't eating it every day. So it isn't good to eat meat overtly, only solely, and it isn't good to eat only greens solely, because greens are only meant to be your medicine. I'm telling you, family, we've been duped. We've been told. That's why we have an extreme. That's why you had the Atkins. I'm so excited. Should I pull back? Is everybody okay? I'm gonna pull back because I'm getting hyped up, and it's because there's so much information. Okay. Okay. Just tell me to pull back if I'm going too much, okay? Because I'm really passionate and I've been off for a long time. They did this purposefully. It is balance. Listen, 8 years ago or 10 years ago, they had a fad called the Atkins diet. What did the Atkins tell you? Tons of protein. Only eat meat. Only eat cheeses. Only eat simplified fats and things from meat or animal source, right? They made people do that and they dropped a lot of weight, right? But people were having heart attacks. So what did you see? That was an agenda, family, because whenever you go too far to the left of the pendulum, what happens to the pendulum? You're going to go to the far right. So what did they do to you? They created veganism, not vegetarianism, not pescatarianism, not flexitarianism. They went extreme right. So what they did to you is they told you to be a vegan. They told you don't eat any meats, don't eat any animal source, don't eat anything like that, and you'll be fine. But then now you have vegans that are suffering from depreciation because all the land has been over-farmed. There isn't any compost land anymore, not many. All of the fruits and vegetables that you're eating are devoid of any nutrients because all of the land has been over-farmed and overutilized where there isn't a bit of nutrients in your food. So now you have people who are wonderfully compassionate of animals, but now they're eating plants that have no nutritional value. And I have friends who are dying from it. So now you have them pushing you all the way to the right, telling you to be a vegan, which I think is the most compassionate. Actually, I supported it not 1000% when they did it because that's a lifestyle that I came from. But what I started to see is the proponent for them propelling this is that they knew that all of your fruits and vegetables that majority of you get, even if they're organic, were seedless because a lot of them are being homogenized. So now you get your grapes, your watermelons, your bananas, none of them have seeds. So now they're working the whole genetically homogenized food that are changing, altering your DNA. Because now you think that, oh, I'm compassionate, I'm loving, I love animals and so on, but you're not even eating locally. Now some of you are getting food from locations all the way around the planet that no one tells you mess with your DNA. Because if I'm eating an orange and I'm living in Florida where oranges are grown, but I'm eating an orange that's all the way created in California or is all the way in Ecuador, I am now eating a foreign fruit that is going to interact with my body and not give me the proper information to my DNA or to my endocrine system. And it can actually cause more harm than good. That's why they tell you to eat local fruits and vegetables and to grow your own, because you can control the nutrients in your soil. You can also control the environment by composting. You know, I compost, you know how I do. I'm a messy composter. I'm called Compost Chick on the ham radios. Big up to my ham radio people. I compost. This is what they're doing. So what they're doing is they created an ethical platform, which they knew that we would be receptive to because we're all awakening. Of course you would want to save the planet. Of course you would be compassionate with animals because that's what's beautiful, being harmonic with animals and living things on the planet. But what you didn't realize is that was a setup because they set you up to go all the way to the right where all foods that you're coexisting with and everything that you're eating is devoid of any nutrients. So now you have people that are eating vegetables and fruits all the time every day, feeling good, maybe somewhat mentally, but their teeth are falling out, their hair is falling out or not growing, their skin is looking off. Their organs are actually not functioning properly because they're not getting the proper nutrients. This is what they're doing. So they want extreme left by telling you to be Atkins diet, go totally with food and vegetables, and I mean with meats and dairies and eggs and all that stuff. And then 10, 12 years later, they tell you to go totally vegan, not vegetarian, not pescatarian or flexitarian, but totally vegan. And a lot of our vegans are struggling right now because their teeth are falling out. And I will tell you, family, that's what's happening. I don't care who you talk to. I don't care how many new vegans you speak to. I have been in the vegan vegetarian for over 30 years. No, over 30 years. Actually, I forget my age sometimes. Over 30 years. And what I will tell you, I see unhealthier vegetarians and vegans now than I did in the 90s. 90s, even though we had limitations to what we ate, our fruit and vegetables weren't devoid, and we were getting a lot more not more nutrients and minerals in our fruits and vegetables. Now, when I talk to vegans and vegetarians that are newbies, and when I call you a newbie, it's not a disrespect. Many of I think it's beautiful to be compassionate, but many of our newbies are actually eating fruits and vegetables all the time, and they're sick. And they're wondering why they don't have energies, and they think it's the vegetables. It's not. It's because the vegetables don't have any nutrients because the soil is unhealthy. Just like if your hair, I'm so off the hook. I'm going to behave myself in a minute because I'm going to stretch this out and I'm going to come to you. But even a vegetarian knows this, is that if you have hair, one of the things about your hair is, remember, the earth is a living sentient being. She's living. We are the trees, the grass, and the bushes is her hair. The roots are her scalp, okay? Now, inside of her hair, beautiful trees bloom, wonderful things when her hair is nice. And when your scalp, when you condition your hair and your scalp is nice and your pH in your scalp is great, your hair grows long and healthy and you have expressions that show up. Remember, a lot of the trees are being killed. A lot of the soils are being destroyed. So now that what's growing out of her head, the roots coming out, are not healthy anymore. It's the same with us consuming things that no longer have any nutritional value. Do I say to you, stop being a vegan? Absolutely not. What I say to you is to be cognizant that there is an agenda and it's propelled on everyone. That's why you will see celebrities promoting veganism all day, but they are eating hamburgers and steaks at home while they're promoting it to you. Why? Is because they know and they are part of the bait and switch. They are doing it so that now when an event is about to happen, when a propelment of a change on the earth that's necessary for you to have your strength, not only your mind, but your body and your spirit, you will be so depreciated because you won't have the necessary tools cognitively, because when you're not getting enough nutrients and then you have a grid fail, you will fall apart because you don't have enough stock or enough reserves to be able to overcome any of the, even the basic sanitary issues that's going to come about when garbage is not thrown every day. This is what I have to say to you. So I'm going to pull back because I'll give you, there's so much I got from the other side. It's so much I think my brain wants to tell you everything at once and I can't. But we're going to the most amazing time. We are. And I don't care what all these fear mongers tell you. People will tell you on their channel to be afraid of everything. People will tell you to be scared or to be so put yourself in victim mode. People will tell you to hate brown people. People will tell you to hate lunars. People are going to tell you not to trust your neighbors. I'm going to tell you something different. We are going to the most amazing time. And if it took something like this to happen to your FleurBrun, then I will take that for you. It is going to be amazing. It already has started. They are trying to separate you. They are trying to put you into fear-based mentality so that you help to co-create a hologram that follows the narrative that they have project that they want. So they are going to try to keep telling you over and over to not trust people or to see people or to judge people. I'm telling you, family, it is beautiful. Listen, I saw the children. The children are moving things with their minds. I don't want to cry because it is beautiful. Don't you dare let them tell you anything different. It is beautiful. What's happening now is necessary to bring us to that point. Those babies that are coming in the future are amazing, and many of you are giving birth to them right now. They will be moving things with their minds. The technology that will be allotted once we get past that precipice is many of the groups will bring down technology that will preserve you, that will heal you automatically. They won't tell you that. It is amazing, and I cry because I want you to know it is amazing. I saw it at the death of my life and me going to the underworld. I was gifted with seeing how amazing it was and allowed to come back to tell you you're going to be fine and the world is going to be amazing and beautiful. And all these nasty, nasty beings who are doing horrific things to children, to animals, to our planet. They will not be allotted here. They are trying to leave. They're going through jump rooms. They're leaving because they're unable to live and coexist in the energy. Even the magnetic field is killing them. So don't you sit there and ever think that you are a victim. You are now participating in a most magnificent event. And it is amazing. And if you're able, and mind, body, and spirit, to get past the levels of lessons that are necessary for you to learn in order to relieve some of the stressors or the things that you're holding on to that will keep you limited, you have to release that, because you won't be able to go if you cannot release that. So anytime that you're going through strife, or anytime you feel like you are at the ends of your rope, I will tell you, I've been there. And I was at the bottom, and it is beautiful. And there isn't anything that they will ever tell you. All these fear-mongering people on YouTube are set up agents. They are here to make you fearful. They are here to create fear and frenzy, so that when all comes awry, and it's meant to happen, that you will lose your frame of consciousness, you'll lose your mind. Stay firm. Stay in loving space. And it sounds so corny, but that's what it is. And I tell you, there are beautiful rainbows. The whole place, there are cities that will be built that are almost like dome-like crystals that are built out of the rainbow energy that we're about to experience again. There are children that are now interacting with each other in crystal dome classrooms where they're talking to their facilitators through their mind. They're moving and being trained. There are women and women now who will be heading all the hospice situations, who will be able to heal with their hands. I saw it. It is what is going to happen. All your family dynamics. We will not be living in a system where monetary is used by paper, by the soul of the trees, by the paper that's taken from killing trees and that we utilize for exchange. There won't be that. It will be plentiful, and it will be there isn't any monetary system. What it is exchange of just energy. That's all we'll be coexisting in. You even see what people are wearing. It's almost like they're wearing white, or you see like these bio suits that actually registers their, I know I have so much to tell you. There's so much to tell you. People are wearing bio suits where actually register your blood pressure. I saw it all. It's amazing. That's why I said to you, the time jump may have done something that may have seemed like a tragedy to me, but what it did is it gifted everybody who's associated with me. Because I will tell you, it is beautiful. Don't you ever, no, let me say this. Let me reverbalize that. You stay in higher forms of awareness. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do in order to do that quantum leap that we're doing as I speak. It's already happened. That world that is coexisting, and it will be our actual, the earth itself in the future version of itself. And I say future because, again, we don't know if it's the past, present, or future is all overlapping. The future version of earth, it's mostly covered by water, and some of the domes that are there are almost levitating above some of the land masses that aren't big enough to have these big cities. I saw this. So I want you to take that. When you hear people talking about World War III, listen, World War III hasn't anything to do with us. That has to do with the dark beings that need that kind of energy in order to even stay a little longer. They have no food source anymore. We aren't feeding them anymore. We're working with ourselves more. I would ask for you, if you desire to keep being a vegan, which I think is beautiful, I would ask for you to be more of a fruitarian. I would ask for you to be more loving to the trees. I would ask that you start composting and growing your own herbs and things that you personally will be able to verify that is healthy for you and your families. I would ask that you start to join together in co-ops and start coming together and utilizing that as a form of exchange, rather than giving more energy to these beasts that are just basically living off of fumes. Because when I tell you, family, there aren't any dark ones here. They're gone. They're under the ground. They're being hunted. They're going out of stargates. They won't be here. And also, that's what I'm saying. To worry about what they're doing is counterproductive. What you need to do is be in total self-awareness and take care of yourself and your family dynamics and you. And when I say take care of yourself, take care of your mind. Make sure that your mind is staying in a positive, well, I don't want to say positive, in a balanced position, because remember, light and dark, you know, you have to be careful going to extremes, because too much extremes will give you more extremes. Staying balanced with your thoughts, being mindful of other people, being giving and nurturing to all people around you. And when 5G comes, I have remedies for that. It's not really a remedy. The beings that coexisted here when the real technology of 5G were here were different. Endocrine wise, they were different. What we're going to do is, I've been upgraded to 5G. My body will allow for it. Also, it's why my body became more bulky, because it was muting some of that. Oh, that's not good. Sorry for doing that. It was muting some of that energy. Okay, some of this junk. My little girls call it fluffy. You know, they call me they say, "Mommy, you're fluffy." But all of that is helping to transmute. We will get into that. I have so much information, and I had to go through this. And I guess when I jumped timelines, it allowed for this kind of transformation, and what again seemingly was tragic, but it was absolutely magnanimous, and I would do it every single time again. There wasn't any loss in my life. There was a gain, and I was gifted with foresight, insight, and supersight to be able to share this. And it is amazing. Like I said, family, we are going to the most amazing time. And if you could hold it together for a moment and just take a deep breath, it's about to be there in 2.5 seconds, actually 5G seconds. So we're getting there. And anytime they do something, there isn't anything counter you have to do. You just have to do you. Take care of yourself. And like I said, we'll get into 5G in their bootleg version of 5G, the reverse engineered version of 5G that was already here and is necessary to bring back the same energies that were here at the time that were going back in the first cycle. So we have to definitely get into that. Oh, I still have time to talk. All right, I'm going to answer questions. I have so much. Like I said, I want to tell you everything. I don't even take a deep breath. It is amazing. And I have intel on the event, so I'm not going to do that all in this one. Let's see. Grounding, protection, team. I love you too. Yeah, it's, I think even before I kind of went through this process, there was still a level of fear. I can't fake the funk. I'm gonna tell you it's real. There's still a level of fear and angst. You know what I mean? You get angst because you're kind of bearing down, knowing that something's coming. And then when I went to the other side, and I was there for a while, when I went to the other side, my gosh, it is all propaganda. 99% of everything that's being propaganda to you is a lie. And what it is that it's not so much a lie. Let me say this. It isn't a lie, but what happens is that every time they they propose a tragic event happening, or sadness, or something terrific, or they tell you diseases are coming, what it does is it creates a collective fear. And that collective fear kinetically has energy. The collective fear will now project in the matrix the reality of what is being propagandaed, just mind-wise. So what they will propel to you by placing it in front of you, you will now pull it in, interact with it, and project. You're the projector. You're projecting what they are telling you is happening. So everything is a distraction. But remember, we're in a different timeline too. So also know a lot of people are being held accountable for dark deeds. I mean, a lot of people are being taken out. I don't know that I would call where we're going as heaven. I say it's more like nirvana, and I just say it based on feelings. I don't say that it's heaven. I think in itself, it can be considered that. It's just based on your perception of that reality, but it's not so much heaven, it's balance. It's everything that all of us here. And I can say, because many of you rock with me for years. You've rocked with me even though you thought I was a lunatic talking about reptilians. You thought I was a little bit of a weirdo when I got my red glasses. You did kind of think I was a little nutty, or maybe cloned, because I did a cloning video, but it wasn't that. It's more balance. Like everything that we desire in society, like fresh water, clean, just healthy system, just without stress, without being driven by someone else or motivated by having to just do more to seemingly be more. It isn't like that. It's a totally different feeling. It is without the need to need. Listen to me. That's beautiful. That's exactly what it is. It is without the need to need. Could you imagine? Let's do a little wit play. Could you imagine you get up and feel amazing? Your only goal is to coexist and be driven by the things that you are motivated by. So let's say that you're an artist and you never really did it, but you always felt like you just wanted to draw or do things like that. Like your day from the time you wake is all about beauty and you revealing more about who you are and sharing and wanting to share that with a collective that is just in that same mode. That's exactly what it is. It's crazy because I didn't even get that concept. I didn't even have that concept. I got the concept. It is what it is. It is without the need to need. That is where we're going. And it's crazy because we don't realize that we think we need so much things. We don't realize that we're being driven by somebody else's motivation. Somebody else is driving what you want. Someone else is telling you what you want to eat, but they're not saying it to your face. They're not telling you, oh, you eat this or you're going to eat this. No, they're propaganding to you every time you look at the news or every time you go out and drive and see 50 million McDonald's signs, or anytime you have a familiar scent of your grandmother who used to make pig feet on Sundays. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. They have genetically homogenized people generationally and given them concepts and also given them subjective kind of undertones of conditioning that will propel them to do things that aren't their own. And take that away and it would just be what you are. So if you take one of the sea stars, let me take Butterfly Kisses Divine Goddess. Butterfly Kisses Divine Goddess. She may be someone who loves to be in water. Like it's just who she is. Her grandmother maybe lived by the waterway. Maybe her father was a sailor or a captain. It's in her genes. She's propelled by that. She would be coexisting somewhere in the water worlds where she would be living amongst marine life, living in a way and observing and coexisting in that theme that is based on her own being. That's how Butterfly would live. It's amazing. And people think that's too beautiful. No, it is what it is. It is why there is a matrix. And it is why they are doing everything they do. There isn't any place on the planet, any other planet that is quite as well, at least that I know of, because I can't speak for every planet. We have multitudes of planets, infinite planets. And I can't say because, obviously the Draconians didn't come from a love and light planet. So the 5G device that is making stuff to access it. The DNA changes are needed. Yes. So I say this, I've been upgraded to 5G and I'm telling you, I've been upgraded to 5G. It will change you. It's going to change your mind, but if you're in alignment with that energy that is here to bring on the energies that were here for the change, for the return, whatever you consider it, because depending on your consciousness, it could be a return, it could be a change, it could be, it could be any way that you perceive it, but it is going to alter you. How it alters you is ultimately dependent on you. That's why 5G isn't all negative to everyone. It is dependent on you and your consciousness and how you allot that energy to interact with you. So when 5G comes about, how it interacts with you, you have all say. So basically I say, well, if I go out, if something comes up, so I don't have to interact with everything and I can mute certain things that aren't positive. But if I know that something has some benefits too, I can mute the parts that I know that are not permissible to me and take in what I know will allow that homing beacon to bring my people back on board. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like us going and hacking their system. We hacked into 5G. We basically just hacked into 5G. By you being here, by the nature of who I am, I've hacked into 5G. I'm basically giving you the code. And now what you're going to do is, because I'm sending out a signal that is now decoding you. And now I'm bringing you that 5G energy. Now, because I'm giving you the codes, now you're going to take it and hack it yourself. And now you're going to be able to access the points that are valuable to you. That's what's happening. That is why they don't want us to speak to one another. That is why there are channels that they will try to shut down. That is why this is something there won't be anyone they want to know. It isn't anything. They want you to be fearful of 5G because they want you to only interact with the negative form of it. They only want you to interact with the negative form of 5G that will be harmful to you. If I told you that it has a couple different elements to you, then you can take it and pick it apart and take what you need and throw the rest out to the garbage and transmute it if you want to. Some of you are masterful transmuters. So some of you will take the 5G energy and the stuff that seems like garbage, you're going to transmute it and make it into something masterful. So I say you take what they give you, just like your mama used to tell you, or some of your friends used to tell you, you take your lemons and you make some lemonade with what they bring you. That is a technology that used to coexist here. And in your very DNA, if you were originally an earthling at a time and you have DNA from this earth, you will remember that technology when it comes online. And you will be able, by the fact that you have someone who hijacked and was upgraded by the 5G, you will be able to take those codes, decode it, and utilize it for yourself in a positive way. So take away the fear. There are people who are fearing 5G, should fear it, because that is what they're going to have a different interaction with that energy. Yeah, how much of it can we believe in? And also, again, if you aren't victims on this planet, this is what I've learned. There isn't any victims here. We are all participants. Every last one of us, unless you've been cloned or homogenized or some of you, well, and that in itself, I don't even think that you can say that you've been taken advantage of, but for the most part, there aren't any victims here. We are all participants. We've all chosen. Most of you are you're the baddest beings chosen to witness this time. You should be grateful. Listen, there isn't anything to be depressed about. I know that some people thought I was cuckoo. There isn't anything to be depressed about. Listen, family, I just had a tragedy, lost 2 little babies, and I'm still here telling you it's going to be a beautiful world. If I could do that with you, can't stop, won't stop, you best believe that it is something that I saw beyond any pain, anything that happened to me that tells you that something is magnanimous coming upon us. It has already started. And the waves of energy that you are coexisting with daily, because the rainbow energy never, ever, ever, ever lost. It never went away. All it's coming is it comes closer and closer and closer, and it interacts with you more and more and more until you can acclimate to it. That's all it is. That is exactly what it is. And it's about to come again, bigger and more magnanimous. You are ready. Just to sit here and have this conversation and sit here and be receptive to this intel lets me know that you're ready. It doesn't matter if we're friends. It doesn't matter if you don't even like me. It doesn't even matter if you think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. At the end of the day, the reason why you're receptive and listening this long to this transmission is because you understand that this is intel for you, specifically for you. It is a gift. It is a gift I'm giving you, and you take it for what it is. And take whatever they give you, and you utilize that 5G energy in a way that would be permissible to you. Most of you are master alchemists. Some of you I see in the mystery schools when I go into ether. You already know how to transmute energy. How can you touch fire and not get burned? Some of you already know that. Some of you can touch fire and burning isn't a sensation that you would ever feel. Actually, some of you can touch fire and it not even alter your physical state because you realize and understand you are in control at every single point of entry on this planet. So I hope you're ready to boogie. Anyway, family, I know we can talk forever. I have so much to tell you. I have more intel than that. The stuff I'm giving you is just a taster. I have so much to share, and I have to be, like I said, I'm being mindful, and I don't want to just give everything to you at once because, again, how it came to me came in a different form. So I have to be mindful of your consciousness and not giving you too much that would be overwhelming. I give you enough for you to, and if you think that, like I said, I would say, if you think this is cuckoo, if I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, by all means, you take this and you say, well, FleurBrun's always been a little, like my family members, you know, she's always been a little eccentric. But that isn't something that most people feel with me. They realize that if I come and share this, and I've obviously, you know, and I basically, what I'm grateful for is coming in with an astrological triple sign of Sagittarius, because it allows me to do more investigation in things rather than just taking things at surface value. That I do appreciate. I didn't like it as a child, I'll tell you the honest, because I always felt like I couldn't let things go until I found out what it was. But it has been my greatest gift, is to be that type of individual that will vet things out until I know it as fact. And that's why when I share things for you, I so can talk from a position of knowing things. And even when I find something new, I will tell you that as well. You're double Sag, Jupiter's a double, and your name is Jupiter too. Jupiter wisdom, double Sag in the house. Big into the Sages in the house. I love you. I appreciate you. We have our moments. My mouth can be like a loving source, and it can be a venomous source as well. It's okay. It's all good in the hood. But family, I'm back Thursday, just because I like to, because YouTube, I don't know, like I said, for anyone coming in the room, make sure you subscribe, because apparently my subscribers, I've never seen subscribers jump from like 20,000 down. I've never seen it on my subscription thing. And I just thought it was interesting. So I thought, for the first time, I'm going to tell you subscribe, because they took my subscriptions off. I don't know what, I don't pay attention to the subscriptions, but it was like 60,000 and went to like, I don't know, 37 or 40,000. I don't know what it is now, but push the subscription. So I know what's real and what's not. We won't let them make any sort of thing about it. And also push the bell. I think the bell is what you push when you want to get a thing. So we'll see if it actually works, because again, I'm grateful to YouTube. Listen, and that's why I say 5G is just like the statement I'm going to give you. Everybody complains about YouTube. I will say this. I am grateful to YouTube, because it brought all of us together. If it were not for YouTube, this wouldn't happen. So you make sure you're staying away from looking the gift horse in the mouth. Yes, do we have some diabolicalness going on with YouTube? Yes. Do we have some things going on? I'm grateful for you, YouTube, because you gave a platform to a contactee mama from Mount Vernon, New York, who was able to find her tribe. So I am grateful for YouTube for having that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they do. That was the ultimate reason why I was able to come to you. And I will always give props to YouTube for doing that, even when they piss me off. Because at the end of the day, this is the one way that we were able to find each other. And a lot of us were the lone wolves and the black sheeps of our family. We were on our own, but we found our tribe. So I'm grateful to you too. So, but just stop messing with my page. Let us be, because we're about this life and we're about to enter a state of nirvana, family. When I saw those babies moving things with their mind, I knew I was in a beautiful space. And mind you, I remember I told you I went behind the veil. Those babies were mine doing it. So I'll just say that to you now. So it was beautiful. So that is where we're going. And it is everything that we couldn't even imagine. That's how magnanimous it is. That's when you know something's really, really amazing. When it's beyond any bit of comprehension. I couldn't even comprehend it. That's how amazing it was. So you aren't lonely anymore. You have 616 people who are part of your tribe. A lot of these people are down with you. There's a couple of trolls in there, but they down with us too. Because the fact of the matter, they're here. They still are coinciding with our family. So, everybody has a cousin who hates on them a little bit, but it's still your cousin, right? So even for my haters on here, and you're not really haters. You may not, maybe I'm not your cup of tea all the time, but you have to admit it. You about this life too. Join us. Just, you could be the diabolical cousin every once in a while. Just come and bring it back. You could be the uncle that, maybe takes a sip too much of the cognac on weekends, but you come back around when you go to church. You one of those. So don't worry. You can stay with us. We ain't hating on you. We appreciate all the collective consciousness that we hold together. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be a million people. It's not going to be a billion people that make the change. It's going to be the very few, the cream of the crop. The meek shall inherit the earth. And the meek aren't the thousands and millions of people. It's the very few, the ones, the obscure little sparks that are going to create the new paradigm, the new world. Many of you are doctors, a lot of you are surgeons, neurosurgeons, a lot of you are teachers, a lot of you are mothers, fathers, a lot of you are amazing truck drivers. You pick up our garbage and we don't give you props. I want to give props to the sanitation men. Y'all rock. No one gives you enough, because in the future, I'll say something. The sanitation workers do not get as much props as they do. Why am I bringing this up? Because it's going to be very relative in the next couple months. The sanitation workers know a lot more than you ever. These men and women pick up your garbage. They dispose of it. They have a way of doing that. And there isn't any acknowledgement that that's something that you take for granted. If your garbage was not picked up or your recyclables were sitting there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, what do you think would happen to the sanitation? What would you think would happen to your quality of life? So big up to all of our sanitation workers who pick up our garbage. That is a big thing energetically, and we appreciate you. Thank you for all our firemen who protect us, who come, especially volunteer firemen. We thank you. We're grateful that you protect us, because you're another factor that's going to come up in another week. And there's many of you who are volunteers who are going to show up so beautifully. I know I saw you. Big up to our volunteer firemen who are on here. Big up to our police officers, our civil servants that get a lot of slack from some of the dirty ones doing dirt, but you guys show up with hearts of steel. I see you in the future. Big up to all our military men, some of you who are retired, who are going to make a big change here when the shift happens. We're grateful for you. Thank you to all the abuelas, our grandmothers, our elders, who sit here, who cultivate us, who are patient with us, who sit here and tell us stories that sometimes we don't listen to because we're not able to receive it yet. We're grateful for you. I want to show gratitude to every single type of genre being that coexists here that we may take for granted, because I saw how each one of these people, silent people that you are gracefully and blissfully unaware of, how they're going to make a difference in your lives, and you'll be able to be more appreciative of the things that they do daily that have gone unthought of or even unseen. So I'm grateful for you. So we could go in and on. So anyway, I'm having a show on Thursday. It's going to be live on YouTube. I shouldn't even say anything about it. Hopefully YouTube, be nice to my show on Thursday. I'm going to be blowing spots. Hopefully. But for my backup crew, if Jose's on here, Jose, I hope I'm gonna have backup for the show. Last time they took the show off, I didn't have backup. I'm gonna have backup this time. So for Thursday's show, it's gonna be a big show. We're gonna do a reoccurrence of a topic we talked about before. I won't say it because I don't want them to try to set me up from the beginning. So we're gonna have the show on Thursday. It's gonna be live on YouTube because that's how I do. But make sure you subscribe, you put the bells. We're gonna show them that we're about this life. And at the end of the day, if I can't stop, won't stop, that means you can't stop, won't stop. And we're going to keep being motivated, doing well, being self-aware. And at the end of the day, there isn't anything outside of yourself that could do anything to you that you aren't in cohesion with or you're in alignment with karmically. Okay? So it's beautiful. I love it. 11:44. Woo! I hope you guys are eating beautiful things today. I hope you're eating well. I hope you're eating healthy. I hope you're being balanced, and I really want a big juicy mango, but there weren't any good mangoes around me. It's amazing. I was gone for a little bit. I'm back. I'll be back. I'm going to be on Instagram tonight. If you want to join me on Instagram. What's my Instagram? I know my Instagram family was looking for me, and they were so, listen, I said Instagram was like, remember, YouTube, you're my main mate. You're like, YouTube, you're like my main mate, right? I love you. Like I started with you, YouTube. So I'm all about you. But when you hurt my feelings and mess with me, YouTube, I go to my default mate, which is Instagram. But Instagram is so loyal to me. And I really am in love with Instagram. So big up to my Instagram crew who's on here, because I'm going to be on Instagram tonight. So join me on Instagram. I'm going to do a rant. I'm going to go a little more personal things that I want to talk about, things that are not so much in this realm, things that I've noticed in this new timeline, such as R. Kelly, some of the YouTube people that are being revealed on YouTube. So many things are being so wonderfully placed out there for us to really see for what it was. So, I'll get more, Instagram is like my, we sit in our jammies and we chat and people come on. So if you want to join me on Instagram, make sure you come on. I think it's Dell, DELL _ goddess, GHADDESS _ love, right? FleurBrun is off the hook. I don't even know my name. I have so many alternative. Thank you, Selma. Selma put the name up there. I have so many aliases. I'm compost shit on the ham radios. I'm Delgadis. I'm FleurBrun. I'm what else? Andromeda, C-Star, FleurBrun. I have aliases. I have to, because when they come for me, they try to come on. I gotta make sure all my doorways are open. Don't worry about Instagram. That's not a big deal. I'll come to you. Don't worry again. But Thursday, I'm going to have the show. It'll be 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. You join me on Aquarius Rising 9th Gate. Many of you already know this. We're going to have a magnanimous show. It will be live as a gift on YouTube. Instagram, I'll be on tonight. I'm back. It is what it is. I've got intel. I've been to the underworld. I've been to the other side, and it is amazing. So join me. I'm sorry for my little, I don't mind. I think I cried during this. I even forgot. I had like a little breakdown. If you don't mind my breakdowns on here. But anyway, big it to all my family in the house. I hope you have a magnanimous day. I love talking to you. Let's see. Yeah, the underworld isn't all that bad. Let me just say that. For all of you who judge the underworld, there's a lot of things going on in the underworld that y'all may underestimate. For those who don't realize, the underworld has a lot of intel, and that's where a lot of your information, a lot of the things that go down in the underworld. And it's funny because that's where most people fear, but that's where you get a lot of, that's where a lot of the things go down that you see in the public eye. That's where you get all the information from. Anyway, so hey Oz. So I'm gone, family. Anyway, I'm out. I'm gonna have some, listen, I even made, I still have my avocado. I know. I'm still a foodie, yes, but I'm going to make sure, look at this avocado. I made this avocado salad. I like avocados, potatoes, except potatoes. I don't like potatoes. I mean, like these wonderful tomatoes. They're really good. And I'm trying to only eat the black tomatoes, which are nice. They're heirloom ones, the purple ones. They're really nice. They have a nice, robust taste to them. So I'm doing something a little different. I'm back. All right, family, I'm out. I hope you have a masterful day. Yes, and I still represent the serpent. Yes, I do. See, my beautiful serpent. Isn't she beautiful? Yeah. I don't believe in getting pets that are snakes, but I love my little pets. Yeah, that's my little serpent representative. Big up to the nigga serpent. Big up to the Andromedans. Big up to the Aquarians. Big up to the Pelagians. Big up to the Syrians and Illyrians. Big up to our Mer family. Big up to our family elementals. Big up to our family connected to the fairies. Big up to our dragons. Oh, I'll talk about the dragons another time. Big up to our family who's part of the Zeta Reticuli. I know. Big up to the tall whites. I've got intel on the tall whites. Woo! I've got intel. Not everything. I remember. I'm grateful I'm back. Listen, family. I want to look. Listen, I'm grateful I came back with my breath, because if I was too long in the underworld and on the other side, you wouldn't have seen me. So maybe I'm gonna just leave that. We gonna leave that conversation. I'm grateful to be back. Anyway, all right, family. I'm gone. Have a masterful day. And I actually like doing this on my laptop. I normally don't do it on this laptop. I can actually read your comments on my laptop. All right. I love you. Join me tonight on Instagram if you're down. I don't know what time. Many of you on Instagram know. You'll feel me. Many of you feel me. Like even when the sea stars text me at the same time I was about to come on. Big up to Aluna Ash. Big up to Aluna. I'm about to text Aluna right now. All right. So I'm gone. Mwah. Love you. Hey, Quantum. Bye, Sensei. Peace. I don't even know how to end it here. There we go. And